Everyone, I wanted to talk to you about belly fat. As we get older, we start to get more belly fat potentially, and a lot of times that has to do with an imbalance of hormones, excess fat stored because the liver's not processing well, adrenals are starting to get overwhelmed over time, so they're not as supported, so they don't have the magnesium, they don't have the B vitamins, the vitamin C, the polyphenols to help support them. And there's the hormonal imbalance as we get older that can potentially happen because of all sorts of different things that have been in our system, because of sugar, because of alcohol, carbohydrates, any toxicity that comes into the system that isn't cleared out. So that's all definitely a thing, right? And there's a reason why it happens on an energetic level that over time gets louder and louder and louder. So I'd like to address that component today. I was working with the other day just the connection with the heart, with the adrenals and the kidneys, right? For me, I had chronic lower back pain for 3 years, and my teacher told me my back pain was from a broken heart. And I was like, okay, whatever. Was true. The connection between my heart and my adrenals specifically, but my kidneys too, was completely off. There was a big disconnect. So all the energy was coming up and not going down with the kidneys. And so there was a grip and not a relaxation all the way down my legs and out the bottom of my feet. Well, I'm finding the same goes with the front of the body, with the reproductive system or the sacrum, the sacral chakra, and the heart. For me, there's a disconnect there. And that can be from a lot of different things. All of us have a history with, sexual intimacy or just intimacy in that way. So there's that. And then you have tribe, family, finances. That's what the sacrum represents. Or just, like birth control, if you're a female, that's going to create a disconnect potentially, or any kind of procedures, things like that. Being a mother, not being a mother. There's a whole list of things that can create a disconnect between the two. So the energy of the reproductive system, whenever it's not trusting the heart, it's going like this, right? And when you go like this, it's like a rock. It builds up. It's a defense system. It's not flowing and traveling down and letting go to the earth. It's up and tight. And as you have more and more up and tight, you have more and more layers that create belly fat. So what do you do with that? And how do you even check that, right? Let's go through that. So, as always, go to the heart, and we're going to invite polarity to happen, basically. So, energy's coming down so that Mother Earth energy can come up, and energy's going out, not in. And to make energy go out, we smile to something. Love goes out so that fear doesn't come in. So that we're creating a tube torus and we're moving the energy appropriately. So first you ground in your chest and you smile to something, anything. And you start to have gravity in your heart. And as that happens, there's my cat. As that happens, we're letting go of everything because we don't want to be looking at anything. We don't want any distraction when we feel this connection. So we're just letting love, energy go to everything that we might be thinking about so that we're really grounded. Yeah. And then once we're there, you ask through the heart, through the feeling, to feel the connection between the heart and the sacrum and the reproductive system. And you might notice a tightening. You might notice a spaciness. You might notice bigger energy. You might notice a sadness, a joy. Anything is the information of how that connection is. For me, there's a tightness. There's like, oh shit. Like, I don't feel safe with this. My reproductive system does not flow really well with my heart. And you can see this kind of response in shying away from intimacy in certain ways, or like anxious attachment or kind of avoidant energy with relationships. You can see like issues with finances or a lot of focus on money, needing of tribe, like kind of just like a grabbing or pulling away, right? These are all reactions versus a being energy that have to do with the theme of the sacrum. So once you notice what that feeling is, ask love, or if you want to go spiritual, source, God, whatever, energy, to start to touch that connection. You don't touch it, you let energy touch it, because energy is light, it's space, and it helps move whatever's there. It helps let the energy stop being separate and start to be cohesive and then move down. So you smile. Yeah, and then you let love touch that connection. And you might notice, like for me, I'll get images, I'll get memories of things that have happened. Sometimes it's just super random, sometimes it's very specific. And if you start to feel drawn into all of that, just invite love to touch that energy, to touch those memories, because you're not to be meddling with it, right? We ask to move something and then we get out of the way. If we're watching it, we're all separate, right? We all have parts. They're all filters. So a filter is not full light. You want full light to touch the thing. And since it's all based off of choice, you have to ask. You can't just, be like, oh, there that is. You have to ask and then get out of the way. So let love start to touch that connection. Yeah, and then let love touch that connection and the reproductive system. You might go to the uterus if you're female. You can go to the prostate, male, testes. You just start to notice if they feel tight or if they feel like they're going up. So we're letting them have gravity. Yeah. And we're letting them kind of relax and have love touch them. And as you do that, you might notice that different parts of your body start to pop up. Like my ears will start going. My jaw might start to get tight. My heart starts to pound more. I start to get a little bit dizzy. Those are all indications of that's the symptomology of the imbalance between the two. So what I do is I just go to those areas and I ask them to ground as well. Because when we're in the body fully, it's all moving. Like the whole connection, the whole imbalance, the blockage in the flow and the meridians is moving. But when we're pulling out and looking at it, it's not moving because it's not embodied. It's not letting energy really do its job. And it's not going all the way into the physical. You might be an energy worker or an intuitive and be like, well, I can see it happening. Yeah, but if you're seeing it happening, you're only moving it from the level that you're seeing at. You're not you could be in the mental body. You can be in the third eye body, more of the soul body. You could be in your emotional body and just moving the emotions of it. But that's not all of it, right? The real all of it is physical while you're with all of it. So you invite your shoulders to ground. For me, my adrenals kick in pretty hard. My fight or flight. So I'll just start to invite my adrenals on top of my kidneys and my lower back to start to ground. And by inviting them, I just ask for help, ask love to touch them, and then I almost feel it's almost like water's falling down and pushing the energy down through the kidneys on a physical level. So I'm feeling them. Yeah, and then I go to the hips. The hips are tight. Good. Knees and the feet. You want the energy to come all the way down the body. And some of you might be like, okay, well, I keep getting like an age that's popping up with this, like the reason why that there's a big disconnect. Cool. Let love go to that age, that part of you that had whatever experience created the big block between the heart and the reproductive system. And then again, just start to feel your body. That's all you have to do. And smile to whatever it is. And you don't have to know what it is. You just want to keep that energy moving. Yeah, good. Yeah, and notice also what might start to come through with that, because you might have a deficiency in your body, right? You might have something, a weak muscle that's being compensated by another one. So like you're not actually accessing stabilization where your body needs it. The answer is going to come through, which is really interesting, because as that connection happens, trust happens, and the thing that's blocking on an energetic level that movement is going to come into the physical. And then you might come across an article that's like, hey, take maca, which is my latest thing. Take maca to balance your hormones. Huge difference in energy and everything. Have magnesium to support the adrenals so that there's less stress response. Like these random things will start to come through. Do this exercise, you know. Oh, and let the pelvic floor ground too. Invite that to ground, because that started to pop up for me. So many people's pelvic floor is going up, and we want gravity to go down so Mother Earth energy can touch that. That's a big one, actually. And also let your iliopsoas also have gravity, because that's really tightening a lot of people. And just go through your reproductive system and see how through the heart it feels with that connection, with the heart to the reproductive system. And then you can go, heart, please show me where that connection was before I started doing this. Now show me where it is now. And you'll hopefully notice that it feels lighter, it feels more open. So you can be like, okay, this is working. It's a good way to check yourself. Yeah, I think that's everything that I wanted to say. So play with that and let me know what you think. And have a really great day.